Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar Enhancing Real-Time Payment Services through FedNow Integration. Today, we'll be exploring how integrating FedNow can revolutionize the payment services for banks, ensuring faster and secure transactions. I'm Hari and I'll be guiding you through this presentation. Let's dive in and discover how FedNow can transform your bank's payment systems. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce Prontev. We're a gold business partner of IBM in the United States and India with domain expertise in BFSI, banking and financial services. We're specialized in the integrations and we have done successfully implemented over 30 banks across APAC and US. So before we proceed with the agenda, I just want to show this slide. Basically, it shows remarkable success stories about UPI and PIX, which is India's UPI, the Unified Payments Interface, and Brazil's PIX. You see the stats here. UPI was launched in 2016. Now it's like 236 billion, and if you see 71% adoption by 154 million people in Brazil, mandating bank participation, revolutionizing the merchant to customer transactions, promoting financial access, social benefit linkages. So it's seamless payment across Brazil. Both systems simplify the transformative impact of digital payments, enhancing the economy efficiency and access globally. So let's get started with the introduction here. Today's world of digital commerce is so dynamic. E-commerce platforms are under constant pressure to streamline checkout processes, enhance customer satisfaction. The conventional payment gateways can lead to frustrating delays, impacting user experience and cart abandonment rates. So the instant payments, basically, e-commerce business can now transfer funds instantly to sellers' bank accounts, ensuring rapid access to the earnings within seconds. This innovation not only improves the cash flow management for merchants, but also strengthens the customer loyalty by optimizing the transaction efficiency and supporting seamless online shopping experience. Several small examples, but it's a wide use case where you can use this FedNow or instant transfer payment systems. Just seconds transfer enables members and businesses, it expands the brand reach, enables digital businesses. There's a lot of benefits for this FedNow integration. So let's talk about the use cases for financial institutions. So you can see here the person to person, business to business, consumer, rental, retail. So you have a lot of use cases for this kind of payment systems, which can drive the financial institutions the risk of losing their competitive edge, customer satisfaction, market relevance in the fast-paced digital economy. So basically, you can try sending money to a friend through a mobile app, or you have a manufacturer paying supplier electronically, you are paying some monthly utility bills online, tenants use app to pay, the rent to the landlord, making contactless payment at a store, employees receiving their wages instantly into their bank accounts, providing immediate financial assistance to the disaster victims, and distributing welfare funds, welfare benefits directly to the citizens' accounts. So there's a lot of use cases where this instant payment comes into picture, and the financial institutions should go forward um, to avoid the risk of losing their competitive edge in this fast-pacing digital economy. So let's talk about the use cases for financial institutions. So you can see here the person to person, business to business, consumer, rental, retail. So you have a lot of use cases for this kind of payment systems, which can drive the financial institutions the risk of losing their competitive edge, customer satisfaction, market relevance in the fast-paced digital economy. So basically, you can try sending money to a friend through a mobile app, or you have a manufacturer paying supplier electronically. You are paying some monthly utility bills online. Tenants use app to pay, the rent to the landlord, making contactless payment at a store. Employees receiving their wages instantly into their bank accounts, providing immediate financial assistance to the disaster victims, distributing welfare benefits directly to the citizens' accounts. So there's a lot of use cases where this instant payment comes into picture, and the financial institutions should go forward to avoid the risk of losing their competitive edge in this fast-pacing digital economy. So, specific to this rental use case, um, we have ample of use cases where it's all business driven. You can take examples of Walmart, where you have a real-time payment processing in store or online transactions. You can say maybe instant fund transfer between accounts, right, for the enhanced liquidity management. And you have Amazon, Stripe, Duke Energy, maybe insurance sector, immediate processing of insurance claim payments for faster reimbursement. And you have a healthcare example, some clinic you are trying to do a real-time payment, handling the patient's services, improving the billing efficiency. You have the IRS, you get tax refunds. And Expedia, you do travel booking, Uber, lots of use cases and opportunity for banks and the credit unions to leverage the FedNow. Ever wondered how your credit union or bank's financial institutions can stay ahead in the fast-paced world of payments? Where India, China, Brazil, they have advanced in the UPI payments, PIX payments, all the instant payments. They're moved ahead the life cycle journey, and they're uh, way ahead of other countries. So I just want to showcase here in this slide. I want to showcase the implementation, how how we can onboard the credit unions and banks, and benefits and the readiness the bank should have. So let's get started. So to implement Fed now, if you see the diagram as well, to implement the Fed now, we need to the bank needs an integration with the FedNow service APIs. So FedNow basically exposes the API services. It has a MQ in the background, MQ server, and it exposes some APIs to integrate with other banks and credit unions. So to implement FedNow, so first thing a bank has to do is to integrate with the FedNow service API. So you subscribe to it, and they need to integrate with the payment processing system. Basically, when incoming request comes, there should be a payment processing platform. Basically, it may be in house. There are several vendors available. There are several in-house tools which use some of the services which we have done for one of the application and in US called Pidgin, which will come across later. So this allows basically a real-time payment messages through Federal Reserve's network. So it goes to a Federal Reserve's network. It's very pretty secure, right? There's ISO standard. Additionally, bank must update their mobile and online banking applications. If you see for the real-time payment initiation, because they have to track as well. Employee training programs will also ensure seamless adoption across the customer endpoints. So these are the basic things which you can see here. The FedNow, if you see the channels are service providers and financial institutions. Financial institutions are like banks, credit unions, and you have bankers of banks, corporate credit unions, and they're basically the financial institutions. They're eligible to use the Federal Reserve Bank services, and they can participate in FedNow services and connect directly. Or they can go through the service providers listed here, where the payment hubs, gateways, payment processors, So they have core banking providers, corporate credit unions. So these are the two entry points for consumers for FedNow instant payment system. And you have the other end, you have the consumers, basically the end users. If you see, the end users are the business merchants and retailers, and you have other industry providers, like how we spoke about the Walmart and other big technical tech giants, fintechs, and banking providers. So bill payments, all those are coming under the industry providers and the end users. If you see the communication, they can use the financial. They have to use the financial institutions to go to FedNow. But financial institution can directly use FedNow, or they can use the service providers as well. So this is what the deck about. And you see the benefits, obvious benefits I have already discussed. The improved customer experience. Um, Obviously, if a person takes wire transfer versus instant payment, obviously the customer will be interested to go for the instant payment for smaller amounts, not the large $1 million amount. But yeah, and these are the transactions where they need the swift action, and where Fed now comes into picture. And you will get the competitive advantage, right, with other banks and credit unions. They haven't implemented it yet, and you have done it, then you might get your customer base increased. Enhance efficiency. Efficiency is also one criteria, where they have banks internal processes reducing operational costs, right, improving overall efficiency with using FedNow instant payment system. And if you see increased revenue opportunity, obviously the transactions will go, and definitely you will get more money into the bank and institutions. Now that we have spoken much about the FedNow, its benefits, and the integration which can be done with the credit unions, banks. Now let's speak about the technical architecture and the implementation steps at a high level. We're not going deep diving. Whoever wants to have a one-to-one session, they want to know more about it, they can let us know. We have the link in the end of the slide, where you can, even you will get an email about us. So you can send an email or book a calendar invite, and we'll be more than happy to go through the next level, and we can give a free consulting at to understand your system. Then probably we can take this forward, and we can also make IBM, any other OEMs get involved directly with us, so that you can get onboarded very quickly. Okay, so without wasting time, let's discuss about the architecture review here, the flow of the payment system. So if you see, I have noted like one, two, three, four, the flow. So if you can see, the payment generally starts from the payer. So it can be a person who's just transferring the money to his friend, or is at the retail location. So the payment basically starts, and it needs a EUI, which is a electronic user interface. So that could be a mobile phone, mobile app, or a web portal, right? So this payment request is basically routed to the sender's financial institutions, which applies specialized payment applications to handle the transaction. Next, when the sender's financial institution transmits the payment instruction, the payment instruction to the IBM MQ client, which basically interfaces the IBM MQ server housed within the FedNow service infrastructure, which I told you before. The FedNow has their own MQ server. So from the server then relays the payment instructions to the FedNow service operated by the Federal Reserve Bank. Then, upon receipt of the Federal service processes the payment and communicates the transaction details to the receiver's financial institution. So the receiver's financial institution basically acknowledges the receipt by sending a confirmation back to the FedNow service. So that's how it confirms back to FedNow. Now, the FedNow service, basically what it does is finalizes the transaction by updating the master accounts of both the senders and receivers' financial accounts, financial institutions. Basically, it has to be atomic transaction where something debited, something credited. It has to be. It cannot be either or. It has to be both committed or both rolled back. So that's how it writes in the master accounts of both the senders and receivers. And so now a settlement confirmation happens. It is dispatched to both the senders and receivers financial institutions. The receiver's financial institution basically updates the Pay's UI app, basically notifying them that the funds are now available. So simultaneously, the sender's FI receives a confirmation that the transaction has been done and successfully completed. So throughout this process, basically, if you see the real-time status updates, the confirmation are exchanged between IBM MQ client and server, ensuring a seamless communication. Um, the sender's financial institution continues to monitor the transaction through its payment applications, so it's being monitored as well, and the IBM MQ client to ensure that everything proceeds smoothly. So finally, the payer receives a confirmation on either on their UI or in the web console. They can see that indicating the payment has been successfully posted. So this is pretty much the flow, but internally how it works, you need to learn more deep into it, the protocols, and the message transformations, how the integration happens. So this is a little complicated to just start with, but it is easy when you understand it. So let's go to the next slide now. So now let's talk about the options available for FedNow. We'll quickly wrap this up. A couple of slides. Um, so how to connect to FedNow? We have already seen in the previous slides where we have the financial institutions directly can opt for FedNow. They're eligible for the reserve banks and the service providers. Of course, they have the payment hubs and core banking providers. They can also um, go for the FedNow services. Okay, so coming back to the slide, basically, we want to see how many options we are available. If somebody wants to, some of the credit union or banks wants to know what are the options available for them to onboard the FedNow. So we have several options. The first one is the middleware solution, where you utilize the middleware platform and you can build your own application using the Java apps, .NET, a lot of platforms are there. You can leverage them and use the MQ and MQ client basically, and you can integrate um, with the now service. So it's a cumbersome process and takes time. By the time you are ready, competition is still going on, and some other bank or credit union might have gone very fast. So it's up to you, but there are other options also available where you can directly do the integration. If you have any app, payment apps, you can use the APIs from Federal Reserve banks, and you do a direct integration, which I've shown you in the earlier diagram. And you can also opt for the third-party service providers, where they can give you the consultancy, they can give you the integration, they can give you subscription based, or maybe there are several options, ongoing services that also you can purchase. There are some vendor solutions where the core banking system vendors have shown you there, right, in the previous slide, where the fintech companies, they already provide built-in and add-on modules for FedNow connectivity. So there are options if somebody is interested. Talking further, we have a different one decision where we can have the entire plan and use cases, and we can show some of the implementations for the bank and credit unions, where we can invite as well IBM and Pigeon, and we can showcase to any prospect customer here. Okay, so this is the pigeon case study I was talking about. So which was implemented by Prontef. So this is all about the customer. You can go to pigeon website and you can see where they're located, what are the services provided. The link will be given after the webinar. But they're the payment providers and they have a powerful administration portal, user centric. They have developer friendly APIs they can use, and they have a full time support. Right, so they are already integrated with FedNow with a lot of customers. Okay, so here comes the main part where Pigeon's integration with FedNow. So this is the architecture. Let me zoom it. Okay, okay. Okay, so this is pretty much similar, which you have seen earlier, but the payment provider was uh, here. If you can see, this is the payment apps, right? So payment providers is not shown properly because it's a different architecture, right? So okay, so let's get started. So here, if you see a step-by-step breakdown, right? The journey begins when again the payer initiates a payment through, excuse me, a channel application such as bill pay, corporate disbursement, payroll, B2B payments. Then the payment request is routed to the payer's financial institution, right? And again, it goes to the MQ client within the Pigeon payment system, right? And the client sits in the Pigeon payment system. The MQ server sits in the FedNow. So then MQ client communicates with the IBM MQ server to relay the payment instructions to FedNow services, right? And the FedNow service operates by the Federal Reserve Banks, receives the payment instruction, processes the transaction real time. It's all same stuff which we had discussed before. Upon successful processing, you can see the master records are updated to settle the transaction, and you see the IBM MQ server, MQ client confirmation. The FedNow service basically sends the settlement confirmation back to server and to the client. The payment FI basically receives a response. Similarly, the receiver end as well, and the pays FI basically updates the pays channel application, confirming the receipt to the friends. So this is pretty much the flow, which is self-explanatory. But if you want to know in the details, there are some technical sessions needs to be attended. Okay, so this is what the architecture of Pigeon which Pontiff has implemented, and let's quickly go through the other slides. We need to cover it quickly. So somebody might think why Fed now, how security is, how effective it is, who is governing this. So if you see Fed now employs ISO 222, which are the standards for messaging, right, ensuring the compatibility with other systems, support by guidelines. You can have a variety of systems working together. They will have the integrations there. You can be smooth in the integration side. So message exchange with FedNow involves also the cryptographic signing, right? So FedNow ensures top-notch security by using globally recognized ISO 222 standards for consistent and secure messaging. And that's for sure. It employs cryptographic signing for message integrity and authenticity. If you see the robust key management practices, maintain confidentiality, that's for sure. Continuous monitoring. They have a continuous monitoring and strict regulated compliance, right? Further to enhance the safety. So this makes the Fed now a reliable and secure solution for real time financial transactions. So you can go to the website, FedNow website, and explore more. There's a lot of use cases, a lot of uh, videos. Okay, so I just want to see showcase here the Pontiff's implementation role. So we are basically, as I mentioned, the integration experts, and we have done around 30 to 35 banks across the world. Have done the development of the ESB. We have done the integration, the API. Have done the data power gateway setup. We have done MQ. We have done Aspera file transfer, and we have done on the OpenShift on the containerized platforms. So we have a middleware solution team, we have a architecture team, we have the end-to-end API integration development team. We basically operate out of US and India, and we have uh, uh, we have done this implementation a year back, I guess, not a year back, maybe more than that. But still now we are supporting. So this is a Pigeon's application. So we basically were involved during the solution design for the FedNow implementation for Pigeon, and we implemented the MQ high availability solution, the active passive mode, and we created the development environment, UAT and production. We are also doing the disaster recovery for them. So we have the application connectivity with the FedNow, support and maintenance, which we're still doing it. So DCDR switchover. So this is basically a MSS work. We are doing the managed support services. But we have any upgrade coming or any enhancements coming in the application, so we will be there to support it. So these are the pretty much Prontef's role in the Fed now for the Pigeon application. Okay, guys, so let's conclude it. So I know it's a pretty long session, but it's worth. You can get a video recording if you want and go through it. Feel free to touch base with us. And we want a successful journey, more customers onboarding to FitNow using IBM MQ and Pigeon and other solutions. So, concluding here, integrating FedNow into your payment ecosystem is not just about keeping pace. It's about staying ahead of the curve and meeting the ever evolving needs of your customers. By providing instant payments capabilities, your bank will significantly enhance its competitive position, driving both growth and innovation within the financial services industry. FedNow offers more than just a solution, it's a strategic enabler, basically. It's a strategic enabler for the banks aiming to thrive a digital first economy. Digital first economy. It ensures that the bank can deliver the speed, security, and convenience that today's customers demand. With FedNow, your bank will be poised to offer seamless real-time payments, reinforcing customer trust and loyalty, of course. By adopting FedNow, you position your bank as a leader in the market and ready to capitalize on new opportunities and set new standards in the customer service. Embrace FedNow to transform your payment services, exceed customer expectations, and drive your bank's success in the digital age. Thanks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me patiently. And we look forward for another session where we can proceed with the detailed conversation one to one, a tailored approach we can have. Until then, talk to you later and bye bye.